Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And thank you for tuning in again live today. Currently watching the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group. I am your host, Jason Leeser, and it is Monday, October 14th at noon. Um, we ask that if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and chats, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. And welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real-world events, to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help, have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows of all receiving rave reviews. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo. Where's my little slide? There we go. Yeah. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo at www.reinventingthetattoo.com. You can try it out for free. You're not obligated to subscribe right away. But if you do want to take a look at it and see what it's like before you subscribe, we have 3 different options for you. The first option is to take a sample webinar from the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon, where you get to go through and get like a little sneak peek, a behind the scenes look as far as what it's like to actually have a subscription. The second option is to get some free advice from Guy Aitchison about goal setting and, maybe helping you point yourself in a direction where you can achieve some new goals. Or you can take a free tattoo history course from Jay Brown. That tattoo history course from personal experience is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. It is super in depth and really covers a lot of the historical facts and a lot of the historical cultural knowledge about tattooing over the past, I don't know, a few hundred years. So take a look at that. At reinventingthetattoo.com, you can also find a full event schedule with full weekly and special event live stream details. For example, if you wanted to jump into today's show, you could go to reinventingthetattoo.com, go to the events area, and pull up a whole calendar that we have available for people to go through and kind of take a look at the events going on. While there, you also have access to the Reinventing 24/7 channel, which has 13 different episodes going at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is available on all web-enabled devices, smart TVs with a web browser, tablets, iPads, smartphones, whatever. It's all available, and that streams live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can also find a whole host of professional development courses from over 20 world-class tattoo artists, all available for purchase at reinventingthetattoo.com. And we've got a whole bunch of different stuff in there. For example, if you wanted to learn how to tattoo a koi fish half sleeve like Andre Malcolm, you can do that. We have a seminar on that. Or maybe you want to know how Bob Tyrell does his skulls. Well, we have a seminar for that too. Everything from lettering to traditional Japanese and black and gray realism. We have seminars for it all, and that's all available at reinventingthetattoo.com. You can also find us in both of the app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, our Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel, our Reinventing the Tattoo Roku channel, which is available on all Roku-enabled devices and has 12 to 15 different episodes going at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a lot like our Reinventing 24/7 channel, but, it's for Roku. It's a little different. You can also find us in all of the major podcast directories such as Apple and Spotify. Or you can do what most people do and just open up your browser and do a quick search for Reinventing the Tattoo. And you'll find it all except for the book, which is still out of print. They do not currently have any plans on running a third edition in print. So take a look. If you find a copy, please let me know. I would like to purchase it. They are very hard to find these days, and I'd like to have another copy. If this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chat, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. We have a number of weekly shows that we always encourage people to tune into. Starting off on Mondays, with today's show, which is the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group with me, Jason Leeser, hosted at noon, where we get to go through and develop some of our skills or talk about developing different skills, whether that's networking, whether that's working at shows, maybe it's Procreate tips and tricks. During this show, we're always trying to work and develop some of our skills. And that's every Monday at noon right here live on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. And following this show at 9 p.m. on Mondays, we have a subscribers exclusive drawing group with Sandy McAndrew from the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. And that is only available for people that have a subscription, whether it's a Reinventing Evolution subscription or a Reinventing the Tattoo Canon subscription, or if you have a subscription to the Monday Evening Drawing Group, you can have access to that alone. I will tell you this from firsthand experience. I did the live Monday evening drawing sessions for about 2 years, and there is a noticeable difference in the work that I'm putting out now versus the work I was putting out before I started. So if you're really looking for a way to really, really help you get off that plateau that you've been on, take a look every Monday night, 9 p.m., and it's absolutely fantastic. Following Monday shows, on Tuesdays, we have the Tattoo Weekly Show with Gabe Ripley, Fawn Baker, and Jake Meeks, where we get to go through and discuss new and upcoming industry news. For example, if there's new legislation being passed or new laws or regulations or, what's going on with the corporate takeover of all of our supply companies or, whatever. That all takes place on Tuesdays, 11 a.m., the Tattoo Weekly Show. Stay up to date. There's some really important stuff there. Wednesdays at noon, we have the Tattoo Now Show with Gabe Ripley, where we get to go through and do a deeper dive into the business aspect behind tattooing, whether that's marketing and advertising strategies, whether that's finances, streamlining your booking process, maximizing your efficiency with your booking, travel visas, the whole nine. That's all discussed on Wednesdays at noon, and that is the Tattoo Now Show with Gabe Ripley. Following that, on Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have a Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast hosted by Fawn Baker. And that is an absolutely great place to go through and hear some of the stories about, our tattoo collections and what we've learned along the road. We do have a very special event this month. This is Cover Up Month here live on the Reinventing the Tattoo channel. We have launched a Cover Up Mastery program led by Guy Aitchison. And is a 4-week intensive and immersive program focused on mastering cover-ups. As we all know, if you get someone that comes in to do a cover-up and you really knock it out of the park, the chances that they're going to come back and give you fresh skin to work with is way better, right? And then that's going to lead to a lifelong client. Next thing you know, you're tattooing the rest of their body that isn't tattooed. It works well. And you know what? That happens all the time. So for more information, head on over to reinventingthetattoo.com. Take a look for the Cover Up Mastery Program. Should be right there on the landing page. And take a look at that. It is absolutely fantastic. We do offer discounts for people that already have a Reinventing the Tattoo Evolution or a Reinventing the Tattoo Canon subscription. So if you already have those, by all means, go through. And if you already have a subscription, take a look. You get a discount for it. Trust me when I say it's worth every penny. I'll be there and, I'll be doing it. So maybe I'll see you there. Coming up 2 weekends from now, October 24th through 27th in Hancock, Massachusetts, we have the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. Reinventing the Tattoo will be beaming out live from the Paradise Tattoo Gathering in beautiful Jiminy Peak, Massachusetts. That's right up in the Berkshires. And we have an unbelievable list of artists that will be presenting lectures, that will be doing live tattoos, and that will be creating live art this year. Just to give you an idea of who's going to be there, we've got Jake Meeks from the Fireside Network, Kyle Olson, Andre Malcolm's flying out. He'll be doing a bodysuit seminar, a large-scale tattoo bodysuit design seminar. Andy Chambers will be there doing a sleeve seminar or a large-scale design seminar. Damon Conklin will be there. Chris Mack, Jade Napier, Frank DeMeo, Haley Adams, Amy Nichols from the Apprenticeship Diaries podcast, John Mesa, Renee Little, Mickey Schlick, Sandy McAndrew, Thea Duskin, Corey Ferguson, Steve Butcher will be there doing a color realism seminar. Marcus Lenhard will be there as well. He's flying out this year. Kaya Heitland, Gunnar will be there doing a seminar. Russ Abbott and myself and a whole lot more. Take a look. This is going to be the tattoo event that you do not want to miss this year. It is going to be 3 days filled with tattooing and seminars and education and art. It is the apex of the year for me. I look forward to it every year, and I can't wait for this year. We also have Bob Tyrell coming out. He's going to be doing a black and gray seminar. So if you ever had any questions that you wanted to ask Bob Tyrell in person, come on out. Take a look. It's literally going to be the event of the year, in my opinion. Take a look. It's going to be fantastic. You can find all of that at tattoogathering.com. Would like to go through and take a minute to thank some of our sponsors and some of the people that make these shows happen. Let's see. There we go. Starting off with worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. As we know, living in a post-pandemic era, we do know that certain tattoo events and conventions are getting rescheduled. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest, most current events coming to a city or town near you, or maybe it's one you plan on visiting, Lord knows that's how I typically book all my vacations, take a look at worldtattooevents.com. Also would like to thank tattoonow.com, technology for tattooers, the leading edge in professional development, management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. They are 100% competitive with any type of CRM, mailing list, or scheduling software out there. So if you're really looking for the digital tools that will help you streamline your booking process, to help you get more clients through the door, to get the kind of work that you really want to do, take a look at tattoonow.com. They've been doing this for over 20 years, and you cannot go wrong. Would also like to thank Guy Aitchison at guyaitchison.com. He is the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. Take a look at guyaitchison.com, where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia, some of his tutorial DVDs. I believe he also has a few custom coil machines for sale, as well as countless fine art prints and the occasional oil painting, all for sale at guyaitchison.com. Would also like to say a very quick shout out to the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. That is my typical resource that I send people to whenever they tell me they want to become a tattooer or they are looking for a tattoo apprenticeship. Go take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. As always, we ask that if you like today's show, go ahead, post a positive review on the channel. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down at the bottom of the page. That way you always stay updated on all of the new shows coming out and all of the new episodes. And please help us get the word out. Spread the word, tell people about the show, recommend it to them. The more people that tune in, the better. If you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event or become a sponsor of our community, or if you're looking for a fine art or a tattoo critique, you can always email management at reinventingthetattoo.com, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you for the intro. Would like to go through and also say a very quick and special thank you to Matt Kramer and all of the guys over at Black Web Inc. I just got done working at a show in the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania this past weekend. It was a great show. It was a great time. Decent turnout on people. It was the first year that they held it. A lot of really great artists coming from all over the U.S. Show, which I personally enjoy better than, having 1,500 artists in one room and, 30,000 people walk through the aisles. Conventions like that are nice because, it gives you a bit more of a competition, but at the same time, it's a bit overwhelming. You know, I mean, you're one artist out of 1,500. Mm, You have local clientele, but it's a lot going on and a lot of people. Um, I used to work pretty large shows. I don't really enjoy working them now. I prefer working at smaller and medium shows. Um, I understand that they draw a bigger crowd, but a lot of the people that get drawn to those shows are sometimes they're looking for a deal, sometimes they're not, whatever. But the smaller shows, I like the intimacy of it, right? And everyone's got their own personal preference. Some people like big shows, some people like small shows, some people like in between, some people just like working at conventions. More power to you. But I think it all comes down to what is our intent, right? When we work at a tattoo convention, what are we going there for, right? And this is something that not a whole lot of people really stop to think about or really decide to look into. But it's something that I feel is pretty important, and it's something that I always enjoy really kind of looking at myself. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? What is my intention on doing it? Am I doing it purely for fun? Am I doing it because it's just what I've always done? Am I doing it because it's what I've always been told to do? Why am I doing these things, right? And I've come up with a very short list of reasons why certain people will work at tattoo conventions. Some people go there for promotion. They go there to promote themselves, to kind of advertise that, hey, I'm a tattoo artist. I can do this. Look at me. I'm, doing all these things. Um, they're there more for self promotion and to really kind of put themselves out there. And that's great. Other people there are there and they're there simply to try to win trophies. You might even have people that aren't working at the show that will show up with people that they've tattooed just to try to get a trophy, right? I call them trophy hunters because that's literally the only reason why they go to a show. Maybe pick up supplies as well, but you see it every now and then. You'll see people that will show up, hang out at a show, enter a contest, and then go home. And you don't see them again at all. They're not talking to anyone. They're literally just there to try to get a trophy. And that's cool. If you're out there to try to do that, to get some credibility, to really kind of, show that, hey, I know what I'm doing. Here's my trophies to prove it. That's fine. More power to you. I respect the fact that you're trying to get that kind of recognition that way. It's not something I would do, but if that's the way you view it, I respect that. Some people are there more for the networking. They want to get to know other artists in different places. They want to become part of a larger community of tattooers. Typically, this is where I like to fall in. I have a few other reasons for working at shows, but typically I like to talk to my neighbors. I like to talk to the people that are working behind me. I like to talk to the people across from me. I like to try to get to know different artists because to me, that's being part of that community, is talking to people and networking with people and sharing information and growing ourselves. See someone whose artwork that you like, say hi, introduce yourself. Oh, you're an artist from so and so or from this place. That's great. I've never been there. How is it there? How are the people there? What kind of work do they like to get? I find that when you network well with people and you kind of put yourself out there and you really start to get to know the community as a whole, a lot more doors open up for you and a lot more knowledge comes about that will help you grow as an artist. Um, Not saying that that's, a guarantee, but it's just something that I've seen, a correlation between. Some people go to work at tattoo conventions to make money. I just heard about an artist this past weekend who was working at a different show, and they knew an artist at that show, and they said if that artist didn't walk away from that show making at least 10 grand, they were never coming back to that show and they would be pissed. Um, to me, that's kind of the wrong reason to go to work at a tattoo convention. Um, it's not necessarily about like, oh, well, I need to make quick money. And if I can make 10 grand in one weekend, that's what I'm going to do. To me, that's kind of secondary, right? People in my position, we're just trying to get better. We are trying to be better artists every single day. Um, Maybe it's because of some kind of complex that we have. Who knows? Some people like to go to tattoo conventions to show off skills. Like, hey, take a look at what I can do. Maybe they won't enter a contest, but maybe they'll be working on something absolutely incredible and they'll kind of be showing off what their skill set is and what they can really achieve. That's a great way to do it. Some people like to go to build clientele, especially if it's a local show. Great. Awesome. Go there. Pick up some new clients. Maybe some people come in, check it out. Maybe they really like your stuff and they've been looking for a new artist. Maybe their current artist moved or, passed on or whatever. It's a great way to go through and build more of a clientele base in your local community. It's a great way to do it. Highly recommend it. I get clients that come in all the time. Oh yeah, I talked to you at this show and that show, and I was wondering if you could do something like this. And it's like, absolutely, 100%. We'll be happy to do that for you. And now that becomes a regular client, right? Some people like to go to tattoo conventions to learn from other artists. Maybe you'll see someone that's there showing off their skills, doing something epic, and you take a minute and you stop and you ask them some questions like, "Hey, why are you using, that black? Out of all of the blacks on the market, why that one?" Right? Now, some artists don't really know. Some artists are like, "Well, it's what I was taught to use and it works well, so why change?" It's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, just trying to understand your process here. But it's a great way to go through, even if you're not working at the show, if you just go to attend it. Walk around, ask artists questions. We love that stuff. Um, why do you use those colors over all of the other color companies on the market? Why do you use that machine? Or is that a round mag or a curved mag? Or is that a flat mag? Is that, number 12 long taper? Is it medium taper? Is it a bug pen? Is it a number 8 bug pen? You don't really know until you ask. And sometimes those tiny little things can ultimately make or break a tattoo that you will be doing later. Maybe you're running out of 15 mags, right? And you just saw a guy doing sick work. You asked him if he was using long taper or medium taper, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm using long tapers from this company." You buy a box, you try it out, and next thing you know, you're like, "Man, this is awesome," right? Game changer, right there, all because you asked a question. So go to tattoo conventions. Personal recommendation: go to as many as you can. Even if you don't work at them, go to them. Check them out. Ask questions. Learn more. Get better, right? And maybe go and work at a couple of them. Showcase your work. Show off what you can do. Not saying you have to enter a contest, but it's a great way to go through and pick up new clients. It's a great way to go through and become a part of the community. It's a great way to go through and really expand your knowledge base and help other people at the same time, right? I was always taught at one point in time, you're going to get to a point where you know enough information that it then becomes your responsibility to pass that information on to other people, right? Other people that are worthy of possessing that information. Well, maybe that's your chance to do that. And I'm not saying you have to go to every single one. I'm not saying you have to, go into debt to go to them or work at them or whatever. But if you see a few artists you really admire and you have the opportunity to go through and take a look and check them out, ask them questions, maybe even get tattooed by them, do it. Highly recommend it. The only thing it's going to do is make you a better person and a better artist. That being said, I'm going to queue up something I've just been like sketching on and drafting out. Where did that go? Been working on a new dragon head design. And hopefully it turns out pretty awesome. This is something that I try to do just to increase efficiency at the studio. And let me turn this on. There we go. One thing I've started to really do is I'll take something that I know takes me a long time to draw, and maybe it's something I really want to do or I really want to understand more of, and I'll just start drawing a whole bunch of them. Dragon heads I know typically take me a while to figure out and to draw. I'm not quite at the Bill Canales level where I can sit down and just whip them out and they're gorgeous. So I know that for me, they typically take a while. Um, because of that, I like to be on my toes and I like to be, prepared. So what I've started doing is I've started going through and like doing pre-drawn dragon heads, right? Because, I mean, number one, it's good practice. Number two, the next time someone comes in that asks you for like a custom dragon, cool, perfect. Where are we putting it? Cool, awesome. Boom, here's a dragon head. That's done. Now all I have to do is draw the body, right? It's efficiency. Maximizes your time when it comes down to composing these designs. Um, I think in the past week or so, I've drawn a few different ones. Started out working on that one. Then I moved on. I started drawing that one. Then I moved on to that one. And then I started working on this one. Just trying to play with different angles. You can see a subtlety in the angle of the head. That one's a 3/4 view, which is pretty standard, but that one's 3/4 view. It's a little bit of a different perspective, though, as far as the head roll goes. This one's got a little bit more of a head roll, and it's at a little bit of a different perspective. Just trying to be prepared and to go through and have stuff set and ready to go the next time someone comes in that wants something like that. So I'm just going to be working on refining this a little bit today. If anyone has any questions at any point in time, by all means, feel free to ask away. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Let's see, where was I? Rusty Nib. And we'll go with... yeah, this guy looks good. We'll try this one out. Check my size. It's a little bit more rough than I was thinking. Let's go with this guy. This guy should be good. A little too big. I try not to, especially if I'm just like doing like a little pre-sketch for something, I'm not really super concerned with a whole lot of subtleties. I'm basically just trying to like almost do a like placeholders, I guess. It's just something that I've gotten used to doing that tends to work pretty well. Let's see if I pull up the chats. Cool. I'm basically just here. I'm just trying to like block it in that I myself can turn it around later on, slap this on a body that I've drawn up, or I'll take this and I'll drop this into a new document and I will draw the body to fit this design. So I'm just kind of keeping it pretty rough because I know ultimately in the end I'm going to be changing things around a bit. But it's nice to at least have some kind of a starting point that I go through and say, oh, okay, cool. Now I don't really have to take a whole bunch of hours to sit down, sketch, and draw something that I know takes me a while. So I'm just trying to maximize my efficiency and, just really be on the ball with it because I know that's going to save me time in the long run. I have no idea what, maybe it was just this one that I was using. I've always been a big fan of dragons, especially of like Asian style dragons. Um, I love the way that they move, they flow, love the stories behind them. I just think they're awesome. Dragons aren't everyone's thing, but that's okay. They don't have to be. We are going to oh, what types of tattoo designs are most popular or recommended for showcasing at a tattoo convention and why? Excellent question. A lot of the tattoos that I see a lot of people showcasing as far as like trying to win awards, a lot of them tend to be more on the realistic side. They don't always have to be, but if there's something that you've done that's really proud of that's traditional Japanese, right? Or traditional Americana or biomech or anything that you're really proud of, there's almost a category you can enter it for the contest. Doesn't always mean that it'll place, but there's at least a category for it. If you're not trying to enter a contest and you're just there trying to work on something to really have people like stop by and be like, whoa, that's pretty dope. Um, Anything that's bold, and I want to say almost large scale, anything, at a decent size, people are going to stop and watch you. Um, Especially if it's composed well, if you're doing bright colors or if you're doing super subtleties, um, people will stop and watch you. Uh, I try not to recommend showcasing off tiny little things, mostly because they're really kind of hard to see from like standing outside of a booth. But if you have someone that has a back piece, right, that you're currently in the middle of working on, and they come with you to the show to maybe get a session done or whatever, and they, take off their shirt and you're working on their whole back, people are going to stop and look. If you're working on a full sleeve, people are going to stop and look. Um, Rib pieces can be a little bit harder to show off. Uh, but, anything large scale, like a large chest piece or a stomach or something like that, definitely people are going to stop and take a look at that. Um, it's always a good way to go through and kind of get a little bit of recognition. As far as subject matter goes, um, I mean, realism's kind of taken hold in a lot of the industry. I don't typically tend to watch people who do realism. I tend to look at people that are either freehanding stuff on, or maybe they've got something that just has a really awesome flow. Maybe it's something super abstract. It's that's typically what I tend to look for. Something more original, something that's like, you can tell someone took the time to draw something out by hand. Those are typically the people that I tend to gravitate towards. Very illustrative tattooing, but that's a personal preference. You know, whatever your style is, whatever you feel comfortable showcasing, showcase it. Even if it's lettering, there are some incredible lettering tattooers out there, and watching those guys work is mesmerizing. Everything from like the tight little three lines that they'll use all the way up to, using some kind of a weird straight chisel tip mag to really kind of just block through like Gothic letters. Um, it's absolutely fascinating to watch people work on different things and the techniques that they're using and how they're running their machines and what machines they're using and what materials they're using. Um, I'd say though, back to your original question, what types of tattoo designs are most popular? Uh, most popular at most popular for being showcased at a tattoo convention right now, I would say realism. Recommended, do something different. If you know everyone's over here doing this, do something over here. Stand out, right? You're going to stand out more if you do something that other people aren't doing than you will if you try to do what other people are doing, but do it better, right? Because there's a chance that those people that are out there doing this have spent a lot of time doing just this to master what they do, right? Whereas if you're over here and you do something different, you're going to stand out a lot more. And if that's something that you've spent a lot of time doing, then that's what you need to showcase. I mean, even as much as like a huge traditional back piece, those I think absolutely look amazing. Amazing. But you almost never see them get entered for large color, extra large color, back piece, or anything like that. You always see these people that have these huge photorealism back pieces, and it's like, that's cool, but like, how many of those do we need to see before we're like, okay, realism's cool, but like, show me something that's super old school that is large color or extra large color, that's a full back tattoo, right? That I'm going to be impressed with. That I'm going to sit back and I'm going to nitpick and I'm going to be like, damn, those lines are clean. That black whip shade is spicy, you know? That's the kind of stuff I'm going to look for because it's different. To each their own, but my recommendation is always stand out. Stand apart from the crowd, get recognized for standing apart from the crowd, and you can't ever go wrong. Excellent question, by the way. Thank you for asking. But I mean, I guess it also kind of depends on where you are in the world. And that's something that I learned from traveling overseas quite a bit. Different places in the world will put a different emphasis and a different level of importance on certain styles. Um, over in Europe and in the UK, there are certain places that really, really like to emphasize and place a lot of importance on neotrad, right? Um, a lot of places like Germany, places in Spain, Barcelona. Barcelona specifically loves neotrad. But there's a lot of places out there where the neo-traditional style or neotrad is really emphasized, and a lot of people love it, and a lot of people put a lot of importance on it. So if you see people showing off, and all you see is like neotrad tattoo after neotrad after neotrad, throw something in there. Go straight traditional, like bold lines, flat shading. Do something super traditional, or do something Japanese, do something biomech. Throw them for a loop, mix it up, right? Catch them off guard. Um, maybe something that they haven't seen a whole lot of. Maybe maybe it won't go over well. Maybe it will. You never know. Um, that's just kind of what I've picked up on over the years. So you kind of have to know your audience and know what your audience likes as well. Um, I'll stop and I'll watch super traditional tattooers work and just be astounded by how clean their lines are, how solid their color fill is. Um, how they've simplified things down into the absolute basics. That kind of stuff always amazes me because I tend to overcomplicate and, over detail everything. So for me, it's something that I don't want to say I struggle with, but I have in the past. I have struggled with simplifying things down to its essence um, in the past. Now I've got a much better grasp on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, we can do that. What do you want? Traditional style. I can simplify it. That's easy. Um, but before I used to have a lot of problems with that, so I would just be in awe of people that could capture the essence of, say, like a chambered nautilus, right? Which are pretty epic animals, pretty epic sea creatures. But to simplify that down to its absolute basic essence, that's not easy. Or like a lanternfish, right? Um, those are cool, but not always easy. Let's see, we got Jonathan in here today. What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Not too much, man. Let me switch this around so we can see everyone. Here we go. How's it going? Just lost your audio.
I'm chilling, buddy. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. How was your weekend?
So far, so good.
Good, good. What do you got going on this week? Anything fun?
Oh, I don't even know. I know there's a handful of things that are looking pretty interesting.
Well, that's good. Anything new and exciting coming up, or?
Yeah, I'd say a couple of things I'm looking forward to. I have a chest that I'm looking forward to.
Oh, nice. What is it?
It's kind of like a sacred heart on fire with some wings, with
Oh,
some like kind of like seraphim wings. So there's eyeballs in the wings.
interesting. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Regular client of yours, I take it.
He's a good friend, but this is the first time I tattooed him.
Right on, man. Right on. That sounds like it's gonna be epic. Yeah, definitely post some pictures of that, man. I want to see how that goes for
Yeah,
sure.
it's gonna be a couple sessions, but I'm gonna get something out
Well,
there.
as something that big should be. It's not like it's going to be done in 3 hours. Um, I mean, maybe Philip Liu could do it in 3 hours. He might be able to do it in 3 hours. He probably could, but he's superhuman anyway. So most of us are not Philip Liu. Um, the man who can do 2 full sleeves in one day, and he has. I know the guy he did 2 full sleeves on, which is why I say that. But still, multiple sessions, absolutely. Um, it takes time. You want to do it right, and it's going to take some time for that. Um, some people get that, some people don't. I always remind people, like, hey, this is going to take a whole lot of time. I hope you remember that. You're gonna be seeing a lot of me. Deal with it. But that sounds awesome, man. Do you travel? Do any shows? A lot of
I
conventions or?
started getting out this year. I'm an early tattooer. I'm new in my career. So I started traveling a little bit this year and last for mostly seminars. And I keep getting invited for guest spots, but I haven't been going out there as much as I need to.
Gotcha. Are you going to be heading up to Paradise Gathering in 2 weeks?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to manage it this year.
That I look forward to it every year, man. I always walk away from that feeling like I know absolutely nothing and I need to completely start over with everything. Um, but it's a great way to go through. It's a great way to learn. I think we might actually, and don't quote me on this, I'm going to have to check with the organizers and all that stuff, but we might be doing some live stream seminars. I
Okay,
know
cool.
we've started talking about it a little bit, but just getting out there, being part of the community, man, that's awesome. I'm very happy to hear that because it's something that I didn't get the opportunity to do in my career until I was like a few years in. And when I started to get out there and like actually like go and talk to people and watch them work that were not from my area, it was like, the doors got thrown wide open and everyone's like, yo, take a look at this. This is a different way you can do things and it works really well. Um, so it's like I'm kind of envious of people that decide to get out there early in their career and really try to take advantage of that because I really wish I had done it a lot sooner. So good on you, man, for sure. Good on you. It's definitely something that you will never forget, and it's going to help you in the long run. It will definitely help you.
Yeah, that's pretty evident. I've seen it just a little bit now, just getting a little bit better exposure, going to different shops and networking and stuff. It's really a great eye opener.
Absolutely. It's going to open up more doors for you than you can ever realize. Because you go and you watch someone at one studio, ask them questions, network with them a little bit. Maybe they know someone else who knows someone else that knows someone else, and next thing you know, you're sitting down with that person and asking them questions. And this guy is like one of the leading artists in that genre. uh, it's awesome to be able to kind of see that and be able to access that kind of information straight off the bat, man. So definitely bravo to you. That's awesome. How long have you been tattooing?
I think this is the start of my third year.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you are right. Your mind is like a sponge right now.
I
You're
sure
picking
don't
up
feel that way.
everything. Well, maybe not. You might not feel that way, but I'm telling you right now, you're picking up on little things right now that other people that don't get out and don't experience things from other artists and understand different perspectives, their mind, say you get like 10 years in, you start to develop kind of like a little bit more of like a closed off mind where you're like, well, I've been doing it this way for 10 years and it's worked pretty well so far, so why should I change anything, right? But when you're just starting out, you're like, oh, that's different. Okay, yeah, that looks cool. Oh, so that's how I do that. You're picking up tiny little things here and there, and it's going to completely change everything as you grow in this career. Um, yeah, man. My first like 5 years of tattooing, I didn't have that, man. They didn't want me to go to shows. They didn't want me to reach out to other artists or go and visit other people. They were like, no, you need to learn the way that we're teaching you first. And it's like, all right, I can do that. But as soon as I got out there, man, I was like, oh, that violates everything that they were teaching me, and it works. Maybe I should have done this sooner, you know. But everyone learns differently, and there's a lot of stuff out there to learn. Good on you, though, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Bravo.
What you drawing on over there?
Little dragon head guy.
Oh,
Just
fucking
kind of,
dope.
yeah, just fleshing some stuff out, getting some concepts together. Um, Still working on some of the horns. Got to refine those a little bit more, but yeah, I've been on like I've been getting asked to do a lot of Japanese dragons lately, so I've been trying to like get ahead on it and like starting to pre-draw a lot of stuff, right? So I drew that head up. I started working on that one last week. I got this one drawn last week.
Nice.
This one, a little bit of a different angle. Uh, Started drawing this guy up, but I wasn't really too happy with him. I'll probably finish it, but eh. Um, Drew this one up a while back. Really want to tattoo this guy. Uh, just a different perspective, just playing around with angles, head forms, just perspectives. This one I already threw this into a piece that I just got to start last week. So I'm really excited to watch that one come out and come alive. Just literally, I think in this one document, I've got about 9 different dragon heads.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So just trying to get ahead of it, right? Because the more drawing I do on these now, the less I have to do on them later, right?
Absolutely.
It's just like if you're trying to understand something, draw it 500 times and you'll understand it real quick. I've got sketchbooks sitting on my shelf, literally filled with sketches of snakes that I drew. Uh, Probably, I think I drew nothing but snakes for about 2 years.
Okay.
Every
Yeah.
chance I got, just trying to understand them, understand scale patterns and flow, understanding head shapes, tongue variances. Where are the heat pits? What's the difference between venomous and non-venomous snake? How do the head shapes differ if they're venomous or not? What about jaw structure? Lower jaw. Do they really have like big bottom fangs, or are they a lot more subtle? Just trying to understand the subject matter. But now, if it comes down to it, I can sit down and whip up a snake design in, I don't know, an hour. And it's pretty epic, like
Yeah.
start to finish, scales and all.
No, your work shows. It
Um,
definitely shows.
well, when you, like I said, same thing. When you draw something 500 times, like completely through, and I'm not talking like, okay, well, I didn't like the way this one was turning out, so I scrapped it. No, I'm talking like 500 start to finish designs. You will understand everything, right? You'll get a feeling for, say, how dragon claws, will fit and flow. How are they situated? What do they look like from different angles? If they were coming at you, how would that look? As opposed to, if they were like, fading away, how would that look if like you had a dragon claw that was like way back here or whatever? Um, so you start to really understand the subject matter a lot more. So that's why like I spend 4 to 5 hours every night just sketching, drawing, understanding basic shapes that everything's built from. Look at, I mean, flowers are a real easy example. You start out with a circle in the middle. In fact, I'll show you. I just got to tattoo a couple of really nice. Well, it was one really nice peony flower at the show. Oh, wrong document. There we go. Video. Cool. So, oh, done. Let's do this. Cool.
Oh, dope.
I think I ended up drawing like 4 different variations of this. Just playing around with petal structures, but you break it all down into basic shapes, right? Those basic shapes become more complex shapes, which become more complex shapes, which become even more complex shapes, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, well, it's done. Now I have to do it again. But doing it again commits it to memory, you know? So it's kind of what I enjoy doing. I don't even remember how long I spent drawing. You can see I got to a point with this one, right? And then I started over completely from scratch. I think I did that like 4 or 5 times. Yep, there's another one starting over and working on that one. Once again, just trying to get like the right flow, trying to get the right angles, um, just trying to understand, okay, well, if I've got this one coming over this way, it's going to look like the wind was blowing this way, but I want it to have a definitive structure. You know, do I want the edge to be kind of folded over, or do I want that to be nice and open and rounded? Right now, I'm at the. So here's 2.5 hours. I've literally just been sketching these. Finally, I get that pedal configuration that I kind of like, and you start to refine, start to add in some other stuff. Now you got to start to draw the leaves. So we got to sketch those out, right? And I kind of finalized this one, and it's like, okay, cool. There's that. Now I'm going to go through and sketch out a few other variations, a couple of different options for the client. Just that way I'm not limiting myself. So I sketched this one out. But here's the cool thing, right? Say my client, didn't like that first one. Well, I could easily go over to this one, draw some leaves on it, and I could have done that one as well, right? Now, the next time someone comes to me and says, hey, I want one of these peony flowers, now I've got like 6 of them already sketched up, set and ready to go, all because of this one client that only wanted one. I call that
Yeah.
efficiency. You give one client the choices, they like it, they make their choice, cool. But that doesn't mean you have to trash every other design that you did.
No, it looks great. It shows really well.
Yeah, I wish I got a picture of it. I just got to finish it this past weekend at the show I was at, um, and it turned out absolutely awesome. I just wish I'd gotten a picture. I've been forgetting to take pictures of a lot of things lately.
Why do you think that is?
I get really easily distracted.
Okay,
So
fair.
like if I'm finishing up a tattoo and I'm like in the mindset of, okay, cool, let me go through and I'm gonna clean you all up and take a picture. Next thing you know, someone I know walks by and says, "Hey man, that looks really awesome." Well, now I'm gonna stop what I'm doing, talk to them, and then I'm gonna have a discussion with them about whatever it is, and I'm gonna completely forget to take the picture. I'm gonna wrap them up, send them on their way, and then it's like, oh, but it is what it is. The client comes in all the time, so I'm not super concerned about it. They're supposed to be coming in on Tuesday for me to take a look at it and get some pictures. It's still going to be kind of fresh. So all the nice little white highlights that I have in there are going to be coming out. All of the black and gray is going to calm down. Skin irritation is going to be gone. So it should look pretty awesome. I've got something white in my hair. Don't know what that was, but
All of mine's white.
mine's just running away from me, man. It's leaving and never coming back like I pissed it off. But yeah, I just had someone else at the show hit me up and ask me if I was interested in doing a Japanese dragon on them. And it's like, absolutely. I already have a few drawn up. Why don't you come on by?
Nice.
You know, I don't think they were anticipating the cost of it, but When you get really awesome work done, it's not cheap. It's like the old adage, good work ain't cheap, cheap work ain't good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this guy will be pretty fun. I always like to leave some of the texture and the horns open just because I never quite know if I want it to be like rocky and bumpy or kind of more smoothish. Maybe I'll add a couple of little bit of texture coming out certain spots, but yeah. Not that any of this makes any sense to anyone except for me, but yeah. So I'll finish this guy up. Um, Maybe keep some of that there. Yeah, I'll probably start sketching out and drafting another one. Maybe tonight, if I have any layers available left. Might have to go through and start deleting some. But, we'll see. We'll play it by ear. Um, I think I've got a chrysanthemum coming up this week. I should probably get started sketching. But I'll get to that tonight. Chrysanthemums are easy.
Yeah, I got a nice little dragon I'm working on tomorrow. It's a little different. It's just like an armband, but it was pretty
Okay.
cool because it's like a definitive Japanese style, but it's just in the armband. So it's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Kind of almost like out of bounds. So, like, you've
So
got, like,
like the edge of the band isn't hard line, but it's a perfectly like all the way around the arm band, and it's relatively small, like probably 2.5 inches. So,
okay.
but I got the whole dragon wrapping around in there, and he kind of almost like the tail wraps underneath. Uh, it's like chasing its tail almost. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
going behind the head. And I think there's some. It breaks the frame in a couple of spots, but it's not like an outline. So like as he arcs out, it's just like the edge is just the scales are shaded up to the edge. So it'll
That's
look pretty
awesome.
neat. It'll look pretty neat. I'm pumped on it because it was
I
fun.
love that kind of stuff, man. Where, like, it's almost like you have that definitive, it's just a hard edge,
Yes,
but it creates this almost like frame and border. But
correct.
then you've got certain areas that kind of like go beyond that, like they're really creates that sense of perspective and depth instantly. I love doing stuff like that, man. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
That's
that
going to
was
be
going to be
awesome.
nice. I'm excited about that. I was really excited.
Absolutely, man. As you should be, because that's fun stuff. It's different.
Yeah, it was totally not typical too. She's a little older, so it was pretty neat to see it materialize. And I think we're doing another band of flowers underneath of it eventually. So I'm stoked.
Cool. Wanted to say a hi to on regulations on YouTube. Hey guys from Delco, Philly. How's it going? How's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Um, yeah, man. I'm actually kind of jealous of you, man. I had one guy come in a couple years ago. I did two koi fish with like splashing water, and two lower arm bands, and I think maybe 3 inches tall, at the most. But you have different parts where like the fish is jumping out and breaking the frame, and some water crashing here and there. But a lot of it was kept inside the frame itself. So it was fun, man. It was a blast.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, wait to see that one, man. Make sure you post some pictures of it for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to.
Cool, cool. Well, unfortunately, I do actually have to get running. I still haven't unpacked from the convention I was at this weekend. I kind of got home and face planted into a pillow and just died for a little
Yeah, a
bit.
little road wear, huh?
Um, a tiny bit. 3 18-hour days in a row will kind of do that.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I
yeah.
really appreciate your insight this morning.
Hey, man, anytime, anytime. Hopefully, we can get you on next week. I'd be happy to sit down, do some sketching and drawing with you. You know,
Yeah, I'd love
we'll
that.
see what we come up with.
Yeah, that's fucking dope, dude. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Anytime, anytime. Um, oh, Authority on Regulations just made a few more comments. Love practicing drawing and music when not working. That's awesome, man. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. You have a great day yourself. And for everyone still watching, thank you for tuning in. Take care. I will catch everyone next Monday at noon, right here live on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network for episode 172, which will be our pre Paradise Gathering show. And it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm gonna see who I can get on for that. Maybe we'll have Marcus Leonard jump in, or a couple other guys. You never know. You never know who's willing to join in. So, but thank you very much, Jonathan, for stopping by and hanging out today. Looking forward to next Monday already, man. It's gonna be sweet.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. Take care. And I will see everyone else next week. Have a good one.